Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in a series between AIDS and Xiaokai. We see AIDS spawning as the pink Night Elf player on the top left-hand side of Crystal Kingdom. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom right, we see Xiaokai spawning as the yellow Undead. Undead versus Night Elf on this frosty map here. Yes, as many of you guys know, anytime Blizzard comes out with an expansion, it always seems to be an ice-based expansion, and that's when the ice was added to this particular style of gameplay. As we're now looking at the 1 minute and 50-second mark, it looks like we should be going into some early Ancient of War creeping as, oh no, there was an ensnare down onto this one poor unsuspecting archer here. This is going to be very, very bad. Is the archer going to be able to get away? That is the big question. And Ancient of War actually delivers the killing blow there, as opposed to letting the archer get it, so the Demon Hunter does not have experience. Meanwhile, the Death Knight quickly picks up a Rod of Necromancy and is now making his way out across the map. It looked like he used mana for a Death Coil to take down a Wisp earlier, so that is the reason why, 25 mana, he used a Death Coil to take down a Wisp. And he is not going to get Unholy Aura, at least not for a little while. Where is that archer? Archer is not over there. Is the archer down over here? No, it is not. Where was that starting archer? It could, no, I believe that's the ghoul. Is the archer back at home inside? No. Okay, so we may have had a lost archer as well. Maybe the skeletal minion or some other unit was able to get off a kill unsuspectedly. Archer now coming back over here, going to go ahead and take down this skeletal warrior as well. It looks like that is the archer that I am looking for. Oh, detonation to take down the skeletal minion, as the skeletal minion is now chasing after this archer here. The early gameplay, Death Knight hasn't really done much of anything. There is a Death Coil onto the Archer. Archer does have a little bit of magic resistance, thereby not taking the full 100 points of damage. Another detonation there. Mana burn now finally onto the Death Knight, as the Archer's going after the Death Knight here. All right, Archer's going to be able to break Shadow Meld, now trying to go after this one poor unit there. Nope, the Archer should have just turned around and shot it, as opposed to pathing it. The Death Knight gets in the denial, and the Demon Hunter will still stay at level 1 at least for a little while. Demon Hunter now running rounds around here. The Death Knight is going to be able to get away. It looks like, oh, there is a poor seal. What did the seal ever do to you? I don't know, but they're going to be coming back to haunt in the afterlife, using those swords oh so effectively. Bone swords there, as the archer is now turning around, getting some easy shots onto that Death Knight once more. Death Knight has pretty much run out of mana for quite some time now, and he is still looking to do a bit of harassment. Both sides have very, very sparse spaces, but the archers, because of their... Oh, are we going to see a little... Oh, this could turn into a bit of a nightmare for that Death Knight. No, Death Knight able to split the difference there. The archers, if they were able to line up right there, and the Death Knight would not have been able to get through, especially if they had tried to do a Shadow Meld. The Death Knight, without Dust of Appearance, may have been forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. Demon Hunter with those Boots of Speed now chasing after that Death Knight. Death Knight constantly losing mana now, and now we see him get to level 2. Are we going to aggro creeps? There's Boots of Speed on the Death Knight with Unholy Aura, and the Demon Hunter knows to give up that foot race as the ghouls finish off the remainder of this creep camp. Alright, Demon Hunter looking for some easy low hit point ghouls. Isn't gonna find them though. He knew that the Death Knight, because he got to level 2 without it killing anything, that the ghouls were out and about, but went to the wrong location. Pretty much a 50-50 shot. Didn't find where he was looking for, and now the Demon Hunter is going to go back home and pretty much lick his wounds. AIDS now looking to clear out this 5-3-4 creep camp, and this 5-4-3 creep camp with an Ancient of War tanking it should be able to push the Demon Hunter about halfway up to level 2. Death Knight with Dust of Appearance, ready to break Shadow Meld on a handful of archers if the need arises, as the Panda is now out on the field as well. Panda, Breath of Fire, very effective against those ghouls and those skeletal minions. Naga Sea Witch coming forth from Xiaokai, and we may be doing the tech to tier 3 and grabbing that Lich like we did in game number 1. The Lich is a very, very strong pressure-based hero, and if the Lich and the Death Knight do enough damage or are able to push inside the base of AIDS enough, the recovery time is just far too long. However, it does have a very good follow-up transition with that Lich and those Orb of Corruptions. All right, let's take a look at it down over here. There's a detonation once more. Naga Sea-Witch getting off some cold arrows. The Demon Hunter wants to get a mana burn off, and it looks like he is gonna get a mana burn off. Forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal. No mana burn onto the Naga Sea-Witch. That does come as a surprise. Use the mana burn, burn some mana off of the Naga Sea-Witch, and then use the Scroll of Town Portal as your mana burn is on cooldown, thereby preventing any more harassment, or at least significantly less harassment from that Naga Sea-Witch. Alright, Ancient of War off to the north here. We could be looking at a Tree of Eternity eventually. Meanwhile, Panda trying to run around here. There's a Dust of Appearance. That Archer never going to see the light of this next day, as the Panda now trying to run back. Now, we are in a rather unusual spot for both of these armies. Both of these armies can really just tear apart into the other. Breath of Fire on one side, and then Frost and Cold Arrows with the other. No one really has has the tell-all advantage, and we're going to be looking at instead the Death Knight and the Naga Sea-Witch clearing after all of these Tuskar fighter creep camps. All right, the ghouls will go ahead and take them down rather quickly there. The Death Knight still sitting at level 2, Naga Sea-Witch sitting at level 1. As we're looking at the skeletal minions and the ghouls now going after this wisp here. There's another detonation, as the Tuskar fighter is still doing a lot of damage there. That +5 armor really making it difficult to take them down, as we're now looking at where this one ghoul will be heading off to. All right, Demon Hunter now trying to go after some units here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. It looks like the Archer is going to end up getting taken down. Yes, no, there it goes. Finally, death by the Death Knight there, as the ghouls are now trying to get away. Dryads turning back around the other way, going to be able to finish off a handful of ghouls, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Both sides really being able to do much more damage than you would have expected. Lightning Shield on that Demon Hunter. Mana burn now onto the Naga Sea-Witch. The Death Knight, slow poison, as the Death Knight unable to get in front of that Demon Hunter. There is another mana burn there. What a horrible way to go. Death by mana burn, knowing that only 50 points of damage would be enough, and one of your assets are pretty much used against you. Death Knight is in serious trouble. Demon Hunter looking to clean things up, finishes off that Crypt Fiend there. A lose-lose situation for that Death Knight. The Demon Hunter could have easily one-shotted that Crypt Fiend even without the help of the Death Knight, since the Demon Hunter does deal slightly more damage because he is an agility-based hero and also just a very strong natural fighter of a hero. Let's take a look. We are now at 30 over 50 supply for Xiaokai. Taking a look back at AIDS' base, 38 over 50. We are now already at bears, so I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see a Boneyard and Frostworms come out in just a moment. The big question is going to be, how effective is this strategy going to work out, and when are we perhaps going to be seeing the Lich? Are we going to be seeing the Lich? Yes, we are. Lich will be popping out, picking up an Orb of Corruption, and perhaps that 1-2 combination is going to start tipping things in favor of the Undead. We are still not getting an expansion here at the 12 o'clock location, as the Death Knight now clearing up the rest of this creep camp here. This Obsidian Statue working overtime, healing every one of these ghouls pretty much back up to full. Not that there is that many hit points on the ghouls to begin with. All right, Demon Hunter now looking after all of these units here. Lightning Shield once more on the Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter using Rejuvenation and doing a good job taking down some of those units there. Now, you got to be careful when you have Lightning Shield, though. Lightning Shield can actually take down a unit, and because it is cast by the opponent or the creeps, you could deny yourself some experience right there. So that's always something you have to be very wary of. As the Death Knight, Naga Sea-Witch, and Lich going to be making their rounds once more. Naga, or Death Knight, Naga, and the Lich. Naga Sea-Witch, Lich just doesn't roll off the tongue nearly as well. All right, let's come back over here. 5-4-3 creep camp. Lich sitting at level 1, Naga Sea-Witch sitting at level 2, Death Knight sitting at level 3. Meanwhile, the Night Elf army, Panda, now sitting at level 3 with a Sobi mask. Gonna be a very useful item coming up in the upcoming fights. As you can see, the remaining arachnids and the remaining units, Belt of Giant Strength, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. That Panda, plenty of mana, plenty of hit points, and he decides against the hit points and decides not to read that Tome of Intelligence +2 either. All right, not quite sure what that was about. Perhaps just a mistake. Destroyer quickly taking down one of those creep camps there. You can see 1, 2 ghouls already taken down. That Devour magic, however, very, very important at removing that frost armor and then dealing a little bit more bonus damage. Spike Collar, not that useful of an item. Perhaps if you're going to try and mana burn off the other remaining heroes, the Panda, or even a handful of the Bears, maybe that would be useful there, but I'm sure he would have really preferred a Stone Golem, as that Stone Golem is just so much more powerful. All right, Destroyer is nearby, ready to go. What is going to be going down here? And are the Crypt Fiends or any losses going to be happening? All right, there you have it. You can see the Bears and the Dryads now making their way in. The Crypt Fiends able to quickly fight back, though that Crypt Fiend taking a big chunk of damage. -5 armor. Effectively about 30% less hit points. Something you got to be careful about as the Demon Hunter now makes its way over. Are we going to see a turnaround? No, we are not. The Demon Hunter pretty much getting a mana burn all game long without really having to worry at all. Death Knight now wandering back around again. Are we going to see him turn around and turn that corner? No chase whatsoever, as we're looking at some creeping now going down over here. AIDS looking to finish off this Fountain of Health, but if he aggroes the creep just at the wrong time, things could go from bad to worse. There is a shade nearby, and that shade is going to be keeping track of things. Oh, what is going on? There was the roar, and then they decided not to engage. Not quite sure what's going on there, as we're still looking at no expansion at the 12 o'clock location. Frostworm is now out. Crypt Fiends are there to take down the Dryads. Frostworms and Destroyers are there to take down everything else. And we still haven't seen a very, very gutsy play come in from AIDS yet. Xiaokai has been really playing the mind game and the mental game to a much, just playing at a much higher level. So far, we're looking at the Death Knight about to get to level 4. That Frostworm sitting at level, or that Frostworm now going to really make it difficult for the Bears to do that much. Not only is it magic damage, it also slows down those melee units so they cannot get within melee range. Lich now looking to clear out that top right hand side of the map. Demon Hunter, Hippogriff, Dryads, Bears, Shades, all working together here. You can see a Stalker quickly taken down, and yeah, that's another reason why the Fell Stalker is not that good of a summon item. It can be abolished magic in a matter of seconds. Rock Golem or Stone Golems generally considered the best golem, at least if there is a Night Elf player or in a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, just because you don't want quick abolish magics to make short work of your summoned unit there. All right, let's take a look. Troll Trappers or Tuskar Trapper is going to get finished off here in just a second. There you go, but turn around and we are now in a fight. And are we going to perhaps see enough here? Destroyers up in the air trying to finish off a handful of units. Breath of Fire. It looks as though the Keeper of the Grove will get taken down. We can see a couple more ensnare as Aid taking a bit of damage. However, the Hippogriff able to finish off the Frostworm before the Hippogriff his friend the Hippogriff gets taken out. So we're looking at 50 over 70 compared to 62 over 70. As Aid's now cleaning up this top right-hand portion of the map. The Tracker level 6 will get taken out pretty much without any problem. There's going to be plenty of rejuvenation to go around as the Dryads making their way over and also spotting a handful of Shades in the right positions as the Hippogriffs now wandering around here. All right, let's take a look. Tracker going to get taken down. Demon Hunter now ready to go. Taking on a handful of units again. We need to see more healing going on once more.
Player's forces are under attack.
As we are at 57 supply compared to 66. Demon Hunter this time, he gets surrounded quickly, and we're going to be looking at the Frostworm and the remaining units here just healing back up. Oh wow, what was that? Not quite sure what unit that was. I didn't see any leveling on any part, so I don't know if it was an Undead unit or a Night Elf unit. I believe it was an Undead unit, as the Lich does not have that much experience past her previous level, and I thought she would have leveled off of whatever was ensnared there.
A player's forces are under attack.
Dryads, Hippogriffs, Bears all working together now. The Dryad's going to try and keep keep everyone else alive. The big threats, the destroyers, the Frostworm, all of those are the big threats, but the Dryads can stand there all day long and pretty much dish out that damage without having to worry about being on the receiving end of any damage. Second Frostworm now making its way out as an Obsidian statue now joins in on the fight, and it looks like Xiaokai is pretty much ready to go with this next army. Yeah, his army is slightly smaller, but if you know, yeah, slightly smaller, even when you take into consideration all of these wisps all across the map and potentially a wisp trying to set up an expansion here. That army is still smaller just because of the number of harvesters that they have. A is now trying to charge in here. Demon Hunter leading the way. It looks as though all these units are going to be circumnavigating around all of those congestion points, so to speak, the common walkways. As we are now looking at AIDS now making a little bit of a turn for the corner and down south here. All right. 2 Frostworms, 2 Destroyers, an Abomination, 1 Crypt Fiend. That is not going to be enough against what we are currently seeing from the Night Elf army. And it is going to be a massive, massive micro game if the next fight happens or a fight happens within the next 5 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and let's go over here. All right, there is 1 bear already taken down. No time for even one Staff of Preservation. As you see, oh, there goes the illusions there. All right, now you need to turn back around. Mana burn onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now accidentally wandering in here, but does take down a second bear. So 2 bears already down. And if you actually focus down some of the other remaining units, that would be, in fact, a very big deal. Hippogriffs now very, very low as they're now going after a handful of other Hippogriffs still. There's a Breath of Fire, and we're still looking at a big fight. Nagasiwa trying to fend us off, and all of these units are now still just simply walking to the back. At some point, you are going to lose all the ground you can give, and you need to turn around and fight. That's exactly what's happening here. The Lich at level 3 has fallen. Death Knight still almost taken down. Gonna be a little bit of a problem here as we're now looking at the Obsidian statue about to get taken down here. So far, Destroyers looking to finish things a lot up here. There goes another Demon Hunter. Will be forced to scroll a town portal out. If they can perhaps take down, takes down another healing tower, as the bears and all the remaining units are still in a bit of trouble. Need to get healed back up and need to get healed back up in a hurry. Expansion finally underway. It is finally entangling the gold mine. This happened during that previous fight, as the Death Knight now looking to heal up his remaining units. Could drop a healing ward as well to try and speed things up. And it looks like he did. Yes, he did. He did end up dropping that. Dropping his last healing ward just because he knows that it has a higher chance of helping out his units here before the upcoming fight. All right, let's go ahead and take a look back. Wisp going to be jumping inside that gold mine at any time. Dryads there to offer it up a little bit of protection, but little be known to them. There is this very large army of undead units ready to knock on the door and take it down. Dryads, Hippogriffs, Panda sitting at level 5. Demon Hunter sitting at level 5 as well, going up against what I would have to be level 4s and level 3 heroes. And AIDS not really doing much of anything. Perhaps it's just going to let this base fall and give. But no, he's just going to leave this base to the elements, so to speak, knowing that he can do that. All right, where are we going next? Army now down south. Army is now down south. Destroyers are all right there. Dryads are right there. Dryads getting in a little bit of poison damage as we're looking at the Dryads now looking to perhaps make their way back out across over here. All right. Frostworms ready to go. Dryads ready to go. All right. Are we going to be just in this little very narrow choke point? That is the big question. I don't know who has the advantage. The Undead definitely has more air units, so perhaps that would be enough. But with so many Dryads in the front line, the Panda is not going to be able to really get necessarily that much damage off. Anyways. All right, let's take a look at this. Panda now still wandering around here. There's a big roar. Is the Panda going to be able to push through here? Perhaps get a breath of fire on some of these units? It doesn't look like it yet, as the Druid of the Claw is still trying. Oh, beautiful Staff of Preservation there, saving a unit, as the Ancient of War is still taking an absolute beating and really having nowhere to go. Another Destroyer being added. Another, and just more and more just happening here, as there goes another. There goes another. So far, Bears, Hippogriffs, Panda, Demon Hunter trying to hold off its own against this remaining army here, but the Frostworms, the Obsidian Statues, and the Destroyers may be far too much, as we're looking at all of these units still doing a very, very strong chase back to the bottom right-hand side of the map. So far, Death Knight now trying to clear things up here. Dryads, Demon Hunter, Panda now in the backfield. A beautiful Staff of Preservation saving up another unit, as the Destroyers are looking to finish off perhaps another bear. There goes some more Devour Magic, as the Destroyers are really just going after the high priority targets and doing a good job still. All right, Lich and Naga Sea Witch trying to figure out what they can do to really finish things off there. There goes more and more units still. You can see that the Crypt Fiends is relatively low on hit points, just getting completely ignored, and that's what you do not want to see, where you are trying to run away from your opponent and all your opponent is doing is actually catching up to you and doing a little bit more damage. All right, back off over here. Expansion now taken out. It will not see the light of day unless a desperate expansion attempt does come in. Gold mines are nearly mined out. Yeah, 1260 versus compared to what? There's it down over here. 1420. All right. So 1260 versus 1420. As the Hippogriffs, the Pandas, the Bears are now making their way over. In order to get situated. All right. Now, Rejuvenation on the Demon Hunter, Clarity Potion on the Panda. If the Panda and the Demon Hunter can get to level 6, Earth, Storm, and Fire may just be too difficult to stop. There is not that many stuns. There is perhaps a silence you can use, but that's off of the Dark Ranger, and any other attempt might just fall a little bit flat, so to speak. Panda ready to go. Demon Hunter ready to go. The Panda nearing maximum mana already. Already up to 290 and growing. If he can get up to 310, 320, he'll be absolutely fine going into that last fight there. Panda at 320 can easily have enough Breath of Fire for 5 after all of the cooldown and the waiting. Rejuvenation still getting underway here. Ghoul able to finish off that kill. Let's take a look. Demon Hunter sitting at level 5. Panda still sitting at level 5. Both of them now ready to go. Are they going to be able to make their way out? That is the big question. As both sides are just in their relative corners, not really doing very much right now. Testing Roar, testing all of their abilities. Meanwhile, back down over here, Undead is actually moving out with a rather large, comparable army. Destroyers, Crypt Fiends, Naga Sea Witch, Abominations. A very, very wide array of units coming in from the Undead so far, as we now see another Moonstone being used. Just a little bit warm today, so I'm kind of sweating it here. All right, Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look back at what's going on. The Frostworms, it looks like they're going to be doing a bit of an engagement. There's a lot of hippogriffs here. And oh wait, Tree of Eternity was on the move, but then had to root itself because it does not want to have heavy armor as it is moving. So it just quickly roots itself there. Undead now out of gold at the gold mine. So this next fight may pretty much be what you see is what you get. No real chances that you're going to be able to expand your army for quite some time. All right. AIDS currently sitting at 65 supply compared to the Undead 72 supply. About a 10% difference between these two armies in terms of size. As the destroyers are looking for easy units to perhaps try and pick off. If you're able to pick off some easy units, get a little bit more of a level, then that's going to be absolutely great for you. But the Naga Sea Witch, the only one perhaps is going to be able to level here. And oh, Tree of Eternity taking so much damage in a matter of seconds. Is it going to fall? All right, all the units are now backing off. There is a Fork Lightning there. Frostworm already taken out as well. And what is going on? Both sides losing a lot of units. Acolytes are now out. Acolytes should perhaps be repairing. And if the Acolytes could repair, that would actually make a big difference. But no, not going to be repairing at all. It looks like the Undead losing a lot of units there, but the Night Elf losing its level 5 Panda as the Demon Hunter now gets to level 6. Level 6 on the Panda. Are we going to perhaps see Earth, Storm, and Fire? No, we are not going to see Earth, Storm, and Fire as the Panda has now fallen. And with that said, I'm not 100% sure, but I think AIDS is actually going to come out ahead and take game number 2 in this series. The trees are going to be more than enough to compensate here as the Naga Sea Witch falls and we see the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 2. Please stay tuned for game number 3.